So it is with great pleasure today that we welcome Miguel from the IE University. Hi, Miguel.
Hello, everyone.
IE University.
A real pleasure.
Okay, so he will be talking about the university and what the university has to offer. A new university that we don't know that much in Greece, but which has great programs and it's well known because I've known it for years since it has a fantastic business school, and we have been sending students to this business school. And they were all very happy with the environment, the professors, the international appeal of the university. So it's really interesting. So Miguel, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me today. I'm really happy to be here, and welcome to all of you. And I hope to have you excited about IE University. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. I'll share a very quick presentation. Let me know if you can see it right. Yeah.
We can see it. Yes.
Okay. So like I said, I'll be really through this this very quick introduction, and then we can move on to see all the questions that you have. So before that, let me introduce myself. So my name is Miguel. I'm actually a former student of IE University. I studied the dual degree in business administration and laws and graduated back in 2016. And ever since, I have been working as a representative for IE. First, I did so for students coming from Latin America. So I lived in Colombia for 2 years. And then since 2019, or end of 2018, I have been the representative for many students interested in IE all over Europe, and since the beginning of last year, specifically for Greece as well. So once again, I'm really happy to be here. Now,
thank you, Miguel.
Excellent. So let me get started then. The first thing I'd like to talk to you about is our campuses, right? So it's important to know where we are located. And we actually have two different campuses, one in Segovia and the other one in Madrid. So as you can see here, it says 2 locations and 1 experience. Why? Because most of our degrees start off in Segovia and then they end up in Madrid. Although some of them allow you to study fully in Madrid. I'll tell you a bit more about these 2 different experiences that you will go through in each of the campuses. But rest assured, regardless of the campus that you choose, academically, the courses are the same for the same degree. So anyway, let me start talking about Segovia. I'm going to show you a few pictures. So this is the campus. It's actually a convent from the 13th century. So it's obviously a very old building, but that has been fully renovated inside to accommodate truly state-of-the-art facilities. And now I'd like to share you some pictures that are going to mix. So also the situation before COVID, and also you'll see some students as in the picture in the middle, so that you can also see the measures that we've been implementing since the beginning of the pandemic. So the campus has many facilities, such as this is a couple of pictures of our communication studio for our communication students. We also have degrees that I'll talk about later, but for example, in architecture and design. So here you can see some students playing with a 3D printer, for example. And this is a really nice picture because you can see how our classes are being carried out. So first of all, I want you to know that this is the size of the classes. At IE, the maximum size of a class is of 45 people before the pandemic. Now, obviously, to allow for some more space, up to 25 people per class. And then, as you can see on the left side of the screen, of the picture, there's another screen where some students are attending the class online. That's especially for students who maybe weren't able to come to Spain because of travel restrictions. So then you can see everyone is wearing a face mask, and obviously there's plenty of gel. So there's been many measures that have been taken in order to prevent the spread of COVID-19 on campus. So here, then again, you can see a student following the class online while the professor is teaching. All right, just one last picture about Segovia. This is the main, the aqueduct of Segovia. It's the main thing to visit. It's actually recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage. So it's a pretty fairy tale city, only located half an hour away from high-speed train by Madrid. So I hope that once it's easier to travel, you'll be able to visit. Okay. Now let's move on to Madrid, so the big city. This is the picture that you see here is the picture of our current campus, which is located in Barrio Salamanca. The equivalent for those of you in Athens of Salamanca would probably be Kolonaki, so that you get an idea. So it's a very exclusive neighborhood. However, we're going to be moving to a new campus, which we will call the IE Tower. And for those of you who know Madrid, this campus is located in the northern part of Madrid, in the financial district. It's still very well connected to the rest of the city. So for those of you who like football, it's only 3 metro stops away from the Santiago Bernabeu, the field of Madrid. And this is where all of our undergraduate students studying in Madrid will be from next September onwards. So the building is actually still being built. They're actually putting the furniture in the building. So here you have some data. So it will accommodate 6,000 students. It will have plenty of green spaces, many shops, restaurants, to be able to have some life on campus as well. Actually, it's next to these 4 big towers. They're the main skyscrapers of Madrid. So it's a big of the, so this campus is going to reshape the skyline of Madrid. And like I said, it's located in the heart of the financial district. So here another of
very modern, Miguel, very modern. It's like technology.
Absolutely, and it will also have some sports facilities which we don't have in our current campus in Madrid, and so that will accommodate also for more activities. It's an amphitheater. Don't worry, classes won't be here. It's only for in case we have some important speakers coming up on campus. So anyway, now I'd like to share with you some statistics and numbers about the student body so that you get a better idea of our university. Something you should definitely know about IE is that it's a very, very international university. We have 75% of international students. So, the minority are actually Spaniards. That's why we have over 45 languages that are spoken on campus. And students come from over 50 different educational systems. So it doesn't matter whether you're doing you're studying the Greek Apolitirio, or if you're doing the IB diploma, for example. As a matter of fact, the IB diploma is the most popular one amongst our students when they're studying their undergraduate degree at IE. We're used to deal with very different students coming from different educational systems. So like I said, over 120 different nationalities in the undergraduate student body. And we are, I would say, a mid-sized university of roughly 4,100 students at the undergraduate level, right? So more or less half and half are between, half is in Segovia, the other half in Madrid. Maybe a bit more in Madrid, actually. In terms of gender balance, so it's almost the same, a few more girls than boys.
More girls than boys.
Exactly. And finally, the most important thing, and then I promise I'll stop with my introduction, the main studies that we have. Some few things that are very important for you to take into account. First is that all our degrees are fully taught in English. Okay, so Spanish is not a requirement. Obviously, it's helpful for you to go around Madrid and Spain and to basically get around. But on campus, everything is fully taught in English. And the other thing is that all of our degrees are 4 years long. The reason for that is because you might have heard about something called the Bologna process, and when Spain was adapting this general EU new educational model, degrees used to be 5 years long. So then it was too hard for Spanish universities to adapt it to 3 years. So then bachelors are 4 years long, but masters are 1 year long. So unlike in other countries where you can get a 3-year diploma and then a 2 years master, in Spain you can do so, but under a 4+1 scheme. So anyway, here you have the different bachelors, like I said, 4 years long, except for architecture, which is 5 years long. And on top of that, we also have dual degrees. So this allows you to get 2 different diplomas in only 5 years instead of 8, right? So a wider academic offer. And really, that's all I had for my introduction. I only would like you to encourage you to take a screenshot of this slide. And then if you have any questions, you can always WhatsApp me, call me, or send me an email, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you. So now I guess we can move on to the Q&A, if that's fine with you.
All right. Thank you, Miguel. I didn't know about the dual programs that you can do two things together, law and international relations. I thought it was one program that you do in 4 years, but it's not that. So you do that in 6 years? How many years you said?
In five.
5 years, so you get one law, a diploma in international relations and law then.
Exactly. To put it in simpler terms. So for example, I studied the dual degree in business and laws. And once I graduated, I got 2 different diplomas, 2 different papers. One as a graduate in bachelor in business in business administration, and the other one in laws. And that would be the same for all of our dual degrees.
All right, very interesting. All right, could you move the share screen now? Could you stop the share screen?
Yeah, sure.
No
problem.
Took a picture of that. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Now, what is the admission process and what are usually the entry requirements? What is the most important thing that the admission committee is looking at?
So IE is looking for well-rounded students. So that means that grades are obviously taken into account, but also all the extracurricular activities, such as sports, arts, if the student has done community service, if they have an international background, any international experiences. So all of that is taken into account. Now the steps, there are basically 3 big steps. The first one is that they need to submit an online application with several documents such as grades, CV, 2 recommendation letters, and an essay. Actually, if anyone here in the audience is thinking of studying in the United States, we are also present in the common application. So they can also submit their application through that.
Really?
Otherwise just do it through our website.
So
then,
we can add you at the Common App application?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, really? Oh, this is really interesting. All right.
Absolutely.
For extra choice then. All right, good.
Yeah, and so that's the first step, submitting the online application. Then the second step is students have the option of either taking our own admissions test, which is done online, so they don't need to come on campus. It doesn't require any preparation. Or otherwise, they can submit an SAT, ACT, or LNAT score, which is something that I know that Lambrini has a few questions about, and probably for the audience as well. And once the application has been submitted and the test has been taken, or the SAT or ACT or LNAT, then the admissions committee reviews the application, and the last step is to go through a personal interview with one of our admissions officers. After that, in tops 2 weeks after the interview, we send the students a final decision on whether they're admitted or not to IE.
All right, very interesting.
Very nice. Okay, moving on, Miguel. What are the fees per year for a bachelor's degree?
Absolutely. So it's very easy. All of our programs cost 21,000 euros per year, except for the dual degrees, which have a cost of 23,000 euros per year.
Okay, very nice. And what is the average living cost per month? Because it's not just the fees.
Of course.
It has to take that into account as well.
Of course. So it really depends on how much of a big spender the student is, right? But I would say that, well, first of all, you need to take into account that Segovia is slightly cheaper than Madrid, especially in terms of renting an apartment. But we would advise probably students in Segovia to budget for 1,200 euros a month, so included everything, rent, food, transportation, so on and so forth, and maybe 1,400 in Madrid. Then it really depends on the area you're living in and whether you're living on your own or sharing a flat. Then obviously this changes the expense you can get per month.
Obviously, very nice, thank you.
Do you offer, are there dorms that students can stay?
Absolutely. So in our Segovia campus, we have dorms inside the campus. Otherwise, we also have several agreements with some other dorms that are not ours, but that offer some discounts for IE University students that are located usually within a 5-10 minute walking distance from the campus. So how it works is that once the students have enrolled to IE, our student services department reaches out to them and they send them a list, which you can actually check in our website, of which are the recommended dorms that that we have for our students. On top of that, they're also we can also put them in touch with other students who want to share a flat. In any case, the idea is that our students never get to Spain without knowing where they will be sleeping. Obviously, we're going to help them with that.
This is really interesting because there are some other countries where the students they start the course in September and they don't know where to stay, and the university just gives them some information and just let them hang there. So this is really interesting to know for parents too, so we feel more secure. So about scholarships, are you offering any scholarship awards? I know you do because one of our students got one. So I mean, but what scholarships are available? Are they financial aid, or is it academic merit?
So it's actually both. So how the process works is that the only requirement that a student needs to meet in order to apply for one of the scholarships is that they need to be admitted first. So they need to go through admissions process first, and then they start a second process, which is the financial aid process. Now, there are right now 25 different scholarships, and each student can apply to up to 3 scholarships, although they will be granted 1 at most. Each scholarship will have different requirements. So for example, one of them is only based on academic merit. So then they will look at the student's grades. Another one is for entrepreneurs. There are some other scholarships that are funded by some of the top law firms in Spain, and they're only directed to the students that are going to study law or a dual degree with law. So then the student needs to check which are the scholarships that fit the best their profile. And on top of that, every single scholarship also takes into consideration the financial need of the students or the financial need of the situation of the family of the student, right? So 2 documents are required: an essay where the student tell us why they think they want, what they want, and why they think they deserve the scholarships they're applying for, but also some financial documents such as the pay slips, the 3 last pay slips, and the tax returns of the parents or whomever is going to pay for the students' tuition fees.
Good to know that somebody who applies and is really gifted academically or otherwise could have some help. This is really interesting.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Okay, I have one more question, Miguel. Do students have the opportunity to study a semester abroad? And if so, which universities do you collaborate with?
Absolutely. So if you don't mind, to share my screen once again, because I have here a slide where I think it's going to be a lot easier for the audience to see. So we have over 160 agreements with different partner universities located all over the world. Here you can see a few examples. Really, there are universities located anywhere in the world, so all the way from the United States to Australia. In my case, for example, when I was a student, I went to South Korea, and several other universities are also available in Europe. So it's really up to the student to choose where they want to, and the important thing is that all the tuition, well, there's no extra tuition fee if they want to go on exchange.
This is really interesting because I see you have Cornell University. So
yeah, so one Ivy League there.
You don't pay extra if you go for a semester there?
I mean, the only extra cost, if you will, is that, for example, is the living costs. So obviously, if it's more expensive to live in the US, then there's a slight extra cost, but not in terms of tuition fees.
All right, very good, because another university that does offer something like that, they charge you the extra fees. You have to pay the fees of the USA universities. And you have Babson also. I'm looking at the USA now.
Exactly, yeah. And this is, by the way, this is not the full list. If you want in our website, you can see the full list of the 160 universities.
I see one university that's very close to my heart because I used to live 2 blocks away from it, McGill University in Canada.
McGill in Canada.
I used to walk by every day. So, I mean,
very challenging university, by the way.
Very challenging, really interesting, fantastic country. But it's a fantastic list. Imagine Cornell and Babson University and McGill from the ones I know, okay, from the other side of the Atlantic. All right. Yes, really interesting. If I'm a freshman and I come to the university, what kind of academic support would I get? Would I have a tutor to guide me, some writing center to help me out, how to write essays and things like that?
Absolutely. So students get help in 3 different ways. So the first one is from students. So every first-year student goes to what we call the Amigo program. So Amigo in Spanish means friend or buddy. And basically the 1, 2nd, or 3rd or 4th-year student is in charge of guiding these newcomers, on how to get around, where to go to buy groceries, if they need anything, basically to understand the basics of the university, what classes are like, so on and so forth. The second thing is they can also choose to have an academic advisor. So that academic advisor can help them really with any query they have. So it can be in terms of which electives to choose once they're towards the second part of their degree. It could be if they're thinking of doing an internship, whether that's right for their professional development. In case they want to learn more about a specific sector or industry, then that academic advisor is there to sort of guide them. And finally, the third way in which they receive support is because we also have a counseling and mentoring department at IE. So, if they have a more, let's say, serious personal concern, let's say they have a very strong homesick or something of the sort, they have professionals on campus that are there to give them support and help them in case of need.
This is really good for parents to know, to begin with, the second part, that our kids will not be alone if something comes up, and there's going to be a support group there for them. And also because some students are it's going to be the first time that they leave their country, but they leave a specific educational system to move to another one. So it's very nice to know that somebody will guide them and will be there to support them. They will not feel alone with the amigo, the friend that we all know what it means from the movies. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, regarding campus life again, what are the different clubs and activities IE University offers?
Of course. So I have also here some data that so last year we had over 125 clubs that were opened, and over 1,500 events were organized by each of these clubs. So one of the most important things is that all the clubs are run by students. So it means that if you're interested in doing any activity that is not present on campus, any student is free to talk to the student life department and start their own club on the subject they like. So let me see, I have here a list of, this is the example of some of the clubs that were available last year. So I have here the debate club, theater, environmental club, finance and investment, music club, dance club, literature club. There's even a wine tasting club. And then, there's also plenty of sports.
The wine tasting, let's go there, Lavrini. You have done it.
Exactly.
Very interesting, yeah. Innovative, I would say.
Okay.
Hi.
So another important thing for students to know is if they're going to be able to land an internship or to do some research with the professors, how easy is that?
So absolutely. So first, during their studies, so classes go from September to the beginning of May, which means that they have at least half the month of May, June, July, and August free. And then we encourage our students to do an internship at least during part of the summer. So any IE University student, as soon as they start their program, from day one, they have access to our career office. The career office is there to help them building their CVs, prepare for interviews. They can also assess them in terms of, which perhaps professional path is more right for them. And they also send the students different internship opportunities, both for these timings during the summer, like I said, so especially during the first and second or second and third year. So every single student, regardless of the degree, they have the option of one semester during their 4th or 5th year, if they're a dual degree. Instead of taking elective courses, they can go and do a 6-month internship. And that can be in Spain, in Greece, or anywhere else in the world. And the idea is that they get some working experience before they actually graduate from university. And so obviously they can look up for that internship on their own, but otherwise the career department is there to give them support and to make sure that they get that internship or even a job actually once they graduate from IE.
How easy is it to get an internship, for example, in Spain, if somebody doesn't speak Spanish?
So there are a few companies, international companies in Madrid and Barcelona. So I would say in these two cities, it's doable. Now, it's true that in other cities, it starts to get a bit more tricky. The other option that I really encourage, especially for first and second year students, is something that we have at IE, which is called the IEU Labs. So these labs are some consultancy projects that students develop with the help of, well, some other classmates and under the supervision of a professor. They last between a month and up to 6 months. And so during this time, they work on a project that at the end of the lab, they present in front of a company. So then the company assesses the project that they've been working on. And it's really a very, very nice way to actually have an impact even from the very beginning of your academic experience. I say that I recommend this to first and second year students because the truth is it's harder for companies to be willing to hire first and second year students because they have less experience, and also because companies, what they usually want is to offer internships to those students that are finishing, so that in case they perform well, then to hire them once they graduate from university. So that's the recommendation I would give to students who are starting their university degree.
The ULab then, it's something very interesting. It's another university that does it. It's Babson University, which is one of the best known for entrepreneurship. So they do the same thing from the first year. They prepare a project and then they present it to real people, real companies, and they get a recommendation for that. So maybe this opens up a door for them to find a job. So anyways, Spanish is a nice language. So I advise everybody who is thinking of going there, just take some Spanish lessons or things like that. So it's going to be interesting, All right, thank you for that.
Finally, Miguel, I'm really interested in law personally, so I can't help but ask about the LLB IE University offers. So what is special about it? Why should a student choose it over another university?
Absolutely. So, the Bachelor of Laws, which I'm actually an alumni of, so I know it really, really well. It's a very different Bachelor of Laws because you will not be studying Spanish law at a university. What you will be doing is study comparative law. So what does that mean exactly? It means that whenever you go to a law class in a university, you will be comparing civil law, which is the one that is applied in countries of Europe, and comparing it to common law, which is mostly applied in the UK, the US, and all the Commonwealth countries. So obviously you will have all the classes that any lawyer would need to get. So labor law, commercial law, tax law, so on and so forth. But always from the perspective of, this comparative point of view. In fact, I remember that some professors will use some of their legislations that they know better to explain their cases. So I remember I had one professor who was from Libya and that was quite proficient in Sharia law, which is the one that is applied in countries such as Saudi Arabia, for example. So you also analyze the law from that point of view. So definitely the main advantage for anyone studying law at IE University is having this sort of more international mindset. And typically our students have this willingness to have an international career.
What I have to say is some points that I kept, which I find it really, really unique for your university, and having 24 years of experience preparing students for university and visiting many of them and talking with admission committees and having the feedback from our students anyways. What I have to say, what I really liked, first of all, you have 45 students in a class. there are most universities, big auditoriums, especially for freshmen. So this way, it's not, you don't get the chance to meet your professors and have meaningful exchange of information, or if you want to have some questions answered, then you can't. So I found this really something that stuck to me, and I think it's really interesting. The other thing, as far as paperwork is concerned, I liked very much the idea of the Common App, because many of our students apply to the USA university. So now it's going to be easier for us, because it's going to be one application, not open up, writing again and again and again. So all the references are there. So this makes it much easier. The other thing that I found exciting was the program that you offered with the 5 years for the LLB and the international relations. Is for somebody, because there is in the audience somebody who was not sure whether to do law or to do international relations. So
there you go.
People find it very interesting. We're talking about yesterday. So she found it really interesting that maybe she's going to like this program more. The other thing is that you have a program which I find really interesting for the bachelors, except the business and everything, the data and business analytics, which is something coming up. And many great universities offer this as a master's degree, and there are very few that offer it as a bachelor's. So I think this, you keep up to date with whatever is happening out in the market. And I found this also very, very, very interesting. The thing that is, from what you said, what I have kept is that it's a university that cares, and it is there for its students in a fantastic city anyways. And if somebody wants to know how it is about living in Madrid, is like living in Greece, because there are so nice nightlife and everything. And the other thing about Segovia, when you saw the aquatic, it's like living in Greece again, because the town I come from, the city, Kavala, has exactly the same aquatic. Well, IE is doing, is taking great strides. I'm so happy, because I like European universities to come up in front. Like, for example, the other day, the Financial Times ranking was out, and INSEAD came the first MBA school in the world, which is like in France. So, I mean, it's really interesting to see European universities just showing off what they can do. And you at IE, it's obvious that you're investing in people, in the staff, and in the buildings, because this is the other idea. Somebody was asking me if you said for the program that you combine LLB with LLM at King's or Northwestern. Are there something similar in business? You have any dual programs in business?
So not with universities. So then the advice would be to go. However, the program in business, you can go up to 2 semesters on exchange. So it's not, you wouldn't get 2 different degrees from 2 different universities, but well, you can have a further, if you want, international experience and get a taste of how other universities work. So that would be
great, because it's similar to the American universities that they offer semesters abroad. It's like studying in the USA without paying the same fees, but
exactly, yeah, which is actually a big difference, especially in the US.
Yes. You also enhance your profile on your CV, which is very important, like having international experience. Very important.
Exactly. Absolutely.
You don't have engineering except architecture. You have something.
So and even architecture is really a very balanced degree between the most engineering side or mathematical side and the artistic side. We do have one degree that is within the area of engineering, which is a degree in computer science and artificial intelligence.
Oh, really?
Yes, we do. Okay. So that's for that particular student if he's interested in that. And also next September, it's not really an engineering degree, but we will be launching a degree in applied mathematics. So if you're passionate about mathematics, it's also an option.
So it means that if you graduate from IE with 4 years and you have a good grade and a good CV, then there are more chances of you being accepted at MIT than somebody who graduates from Imperial University with a bachelor's with 3 years. The same happens with Colombia. They put the same things, that we prefer 4-year studies, and if somebody comes with 3-year studies, then we will look at his case or her case individually. So somebody, if he wants to come for architecture to study in Spain, he knows that he has to do 5 years and then 1 more year to get his license. So because
Exactly.
if he's a licensed architect in Spain, he can work anywhere in the EU, for example, because the law says that you can work. So if they're licensed there, they can work in Greece, especially now that the law changed. So a licensed architect in Spain can work in Greece. So somebody who will come there, he knows that in 6 years, they will be a licensed architect. And the women in STEM also is very interesting, since we give also this scholarship, because it's really interesting to attract people in STEM, in STEM fields, and it's really interesting that you're doing that. I want you, Miguel, to share again once more your credentials. So I mean, they can take a picture of that, please, guys. We're also here, you know, we're friends of IE. We brought
Absolutely. Let me write it on the chat. I will write my email so for everyone to have it, and in just a second I will be sharing my my screen so that they can take a.
So whatever you need, you just use the magic word from CLC, Miss Labrini, Miss Pepe. So Miguel will be there to answer all of your questions, because the idea is that he's not just an admissions officer or working at the admissions office. It's not that which is really important about Miguel. It's because he was a student at IE. So he can tell you things from a student's point of view, okay? And this is really interesting, and we really appreciate that, Miguel. All right, so I want to really thank you, Miguel. It was a pleasure meeting you. Mediterranean people have many things in common.
Absolutely.
It was obvious today that we had many things in common. Thank you so much for your time. It was really interesting, and we will make sure that more people will get to know about the IE University and what you're offering.
Thank you, Miguel. A big thank you to all our students and parents. We know that your time is really precious. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And we're here for more information, whatever you need. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. Thank you for being with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.